I found out my boyfriend euthanized my cat out of spite because she didn't like him, so I ruined his life slowly. The day I found out, something inside me snapped. He'd smiled to my face, told me she passed peacefully, and even hugged me while I sobbed in his arms. I never thought I'd be the kind of person to plan revenge. I always saw myself as the calm one, the one who forgave too easily, who gave people way too many chances. But the day I found out what he did to my cat, something in me broke forever. Her name was Miso. She wasn't just a cat, she was family. I'd had her since college, through my first apartment, through every heartbreak, every sleepless night, every rough patch life threw at me. She was soft and temperamental, the kind of cat who took time to trust anyone new. And she definitely didn't like my boyfriend, Ethan. When we first started dating, Ethan pretended to love her. He'd buy her treats, post pictures with her like he was some cat dad. But over time, I could see his patience wear thin. Every time she'd hiss or scratch when he tried to pick her up, I'd see that little flicker of annoyance in his face. He'd mutter things like, "That demon doesn't even deserve you," or, "It's weird how attached you are to an animal." I brushed it off as jealousy or immaturity. But that's the problem with being too forgiving, you start to mistake red flags for quirks. A few months in, Miso started acting differently. She stopped eating much, seemed sluggish. I thought maybe it was stress from us moving into Ethan's apartment together. The vet couldn't find anything serious, just told me to monitor her. But it got worse. One day, I came home and Miso wasn't at the window like usual. Ethan said she'd been sleeping under the bed all day, so I didn't think much of it. Then one night, when I came home from work, Ethan told me Miso had passed away peacefully. He said she'd been really sick while I was gone, and he took her to an emergency vet. He claimed they said she was suffering, and he made the decision to let her go. My body went cold. I couldn't breathe. I begged him to tell me which vet, to give me paperwork, anything. He said it all happened too fast, and that he didn't think I'd want to see her like that. That night I cried until my body hurt. I felt guilty for not being there, for not knowing, for not saying goodbye. Ethan held me the whole time, saying he did it because he didn't want me to suffer. I tried to believe him. I wanted to believe him, but something about it didn't sit right. The next few days were blurry. I went through her toys, her little bed, her food bowls, and couldn't stop crying. Ethan avoided the topic and started talking about getting a dog, which felt so wrong it made me nauseous. Then, one afternoon, I found something that shattered me. Ethan had left his laptop open. I wasn't snooping. I was literally just cleaning the desk when I saw his emails pop up. One was from the local vet clinic. The subject line said, "Regarding your request about euthanasia." My heart stopped. I clicked it before I could think twice. The email was from a vet assistant politely declining his request to put down a cat that showed no signs of terminal illness. The assistant said they couldn't ethically euthanize a healthy animal. The date was from 2 weeks before Miso passed. I started shaking. My ears rang. I scrolled through more messages. He'd emailed multiple clinics. Some refused. But one clinic, 1 hour away, had agreed, after he claimed she was aggressive and unpredictable. I couldn't even scream. It felt like someone had knocked all the air out of my chest. He'd killed her. My baby. Out of spite. Because she didn't like him. When I confronted him, he didn't even deny it. At first, he tried to spin it, saying he was doing me a favor, that she was mean, and made our life stressful. Then when I started sobbing, he rolled his eyes. "You're overreacting. It's just a cat." Just a cat. That sentence echoed in my head for days. It replayed when I tried to sleep, when I went to work, when I stood in the shower staring at the wall. It was like a switch flipped inside me. If Miso was just a cat to him, then he was just a mistake to me, one I was going to erase very, very carefully. I didn't want to scream or break his things. That would have been too easy for him to dismiss. I wanted him to feel the same slow, creeping agony he made me feel. So, I started my plan. First, I acted like nothing happened. I apologized for overreacting. I told him I understood his reasoning. Even thanked him for being strong when I couldn't be. The disgust I felt every time I looked at him was almost unbearable, but I hid it perfectly. He relaxed. He started being affectionate again, probably thinking he'd gotten away with it. That's when I started collecting everything I could use, screenshots of his emails to the clinics, his text messages where he'd called her that stupid animal, every photo, every piece of proof that he'd taken her life intentionally. Ethan was a vet tech, ironically. He'd always talked about wanting to open his own animal care business one day. I knew that was his dream, to be respected in that field, to be seen as an animal lover. The irony of it all made me sick. So I used it. I reached out to every vet clinic he'd ever worked at, pretending to be interested in references. Then, I started sending them the proof, his emails, his messages, his confession. I didn't have to say much. The screenshots spoke for themselves. One by one, I watched his professional world crumble. He got calls, then emails, then silence. Clinics dropped him. His current job suspended him while they reviewed the evidence. He started panicking, pacing around the apartment, muttering about people being out to get him. I pretended to be supportive, offering to make him coffee while secretly forwarding more information to his licensing board. Next came his friends. Ethan loved playing the good guy in social groups, the charming one, the responsible one. But when people started finding out what he'd done, his reputation disintegrated. Friends stopped replying. His roommate from college blocked him. Even his mom, who had adored him, told him she needed space. He started drinking more, staying out late, lashing out. I played the perfect, patient girlfriend, the one who stood by him even as his life fell apart. But behind the scenes, I wasn't done yet. I posted about Miso online, not naming him at first, just telling her story. About a woman whose boyfriend secretly euthanized her cat because he didn't like her. The story spread fast. People were furious, heartbroken, enraged. Then someone recognized him in the comments. Another person confirmed. His name went viral before I even had to say it. Ethan tried to blame me for ruining his life. But the truth was, he ruined his own life the moment he decided my love and loyalty were worth less than his ego. When he finally realized I was the one who'd exposed him, he screamed at me, called me names, punched a hole in the wall. I just stared at him calmly and said, "You killed something I loved because it made you feel small. Now you know what it's like to lose something you loved for the same reason." He packed a bag and left that night. I thought that would be the end of it, but karma wasn't done with him yet. A few weeks later, I got a message from someone who worked at his new job, a temporary gig cleaning kennels. They said he got caught on camera yelling at a dog and was fired on the spot. Apparently, he'd been blacklisted from most clinics in the area. He moved back in with his parents after that. I heard through mutuals that he's been struggling to find stable work since. Every time someone searches his name, Miso's story still shows up. I'd be lying if I said I felt sorry for him. I didn't. Sometimes justice doesn't come with handcuffs or trials. Sometimes it comes in the quiet satisfaction of knowing someone who destroyed something pure will never escape what they did. I kept Miso's collar on my nightstand for months. It took me a long time to stop crying when I saw it, to stop blaming myself for not being there. But eventually, the grief turned into something else, strength. I adopted another cat last year. Her name's Luna. She's shy but gentle, and when she curls up in my lap, I can almost feel Miso's warmth again. I don't talk about Ethan anymore. I don't have to. The world already knows what kind of person he is. People always ask if I regret what I did if I think it was too much. But the truth is, I didn't do anything that wasn't deserved. He took something irreplaceable from me, so I took away the one thing he valued most, his image. And honestly, watching him fall apart without ever laying a finger on him was the sweetest justice I could have imagined.